Hello and welcome back to our Mentor Tournament race featuring confuseousprime with Mentor McMonkey and Khaemere featuring Mentor JohnTheBranch. We had a bit of an issue with the stream, but we've sorted it out, so you should be seeing a bit of gameplay right now. And also, I am joined by my co-host, Tjjoll. How are you doing, TJ?
Doing great. How about you? How's everybody doing out there?
It's looking pretty good. The first couple of checks we had in the castle had Flippers. No, actually, Flippers was in Link's house. Boots was in one of the chests before you find Zelda, and the Moon Pearl was actually in the Zelda cellar. So they found a lot when they're in the castle.
Wow, what a dream start for the runners. They must love that.
Yeah, I know I do.
Agreed.
So we did see Khaemere just dying in one of the dark rooms. It can be very tricky for a new runner to navigate those dark rooms. So it's too bad, but they tried, and that's pretty important. Just go ahead and try. Oh, and I see why they went there. Apparently the bow was in the Kakariko well. Now I don't know for sure if Khaemere went to Kakariko, but the last thing I heard was that he did go to Kak. At least that's what it sounded like.
Then the Eastern play makes sense, pendant or not. Got a bow. Why not see where it goes? Looks like we got a bug net here in the dam chest, so that's always a nice safety to find early on.
Yeah, they're basically in go mode, right?
Do you need anything else?
I don't know. Yeah, it's the green crystal on Eastern. Sorry, on Desert, and a normal crystal on Eastern. Wait, sorry, I'm just messing things up. There are two pendants in the light world. We have a green pendant over at Desert. We have a normal pendant over at Eastern. And then we have a normal crystal on Hera.
Interesting light world layout. Means you're gonna have to do most of the dark world, so let's see what South Shore has here.
Yeah, they haven't found the ice rod yet, so I guess TR is mandatory.
Yeah, if it's in the first 5 checks, you know you're not going there unless you really don't want to.
Yeah. So we basically confirmed that. Oh, that's the hammer over at Racing Game.
Well, that's handy.
And
glove,
the
glove.
glove. Yep. The first couple of checks really giving us a lot to play for. With the glove and that hammer, we already have the Moon Pearls, so in theory, they have Dark World access if they both picked up both items.
Yeah, definitely looks got one of those early decisions to make. I guess with no crystals sitting in the light world, you would think about dark world right now, but sometimes it pays off just to clear out the early sphere and just see what you get from there.
Yeah. Also, Tracker also noticing that Khaemere just switching over to the Cane of Samaria, so apparently it's somewhere early on. I will say it's probably a bit intimidating for new runners to have to go to the Dark World real fast with no health upgrade. At least they got the Blue Mill, which will help a lot.
Yeah, the blue mail at least make it tolerable early, even on 4 hearts. But yeah, Dark World's not a place, especially as newer runners, where you really want to be without a few more heart containers or mail or 2. Just make things a little bit easier navigating it.
Absolutely. I didn't catch what was on the Lake Hylia Island, but Khaemere is showing us a few water checks. I had a nice setup for the water walk to dash over, but then if you have flippers and you touch the shallow water, yeah, you'll basically get denied your water walk, so you have to swim all the way over.
Yeah, it makes you do it the old-fashioned way. All right, moving on. Let's go see what's in the waterfall in the waterfall cave. What's on Zora Ledge? We don't have enough money to pay off the big fish right now, but keep it in mind later. Maybe find a mirror and route it in with catfish or something. If either runner has to go up there.
Yeah, it's always a good play. You have flippers early, so the chances of something being over there is maybe a bit bigger. Ooh, I didn't catch what was on the second chest, unfortunately.
Yeah, neither did I. Maybe chat can help us out if someone did happen to see it.
So the nice thing is they seem to be kind of backtracking their own... Ooh, that's a fire rod on Zora Ledge.
Well, that's interesting. Dark World access between everything. Fire Rod, Skull Woods. Interesting.
I was just about to say, we're looking at 5 hard blue mill fight to the death against her favorite moth.
The seed seems to be suggesting it. We'll see what the runners end up doing once they get over there.
Yeah, I think this is also very interesting what you decide to do as a mentor. Like, do you send them to such a potentially dangerous place, or do you want to make sure that they get a bit more health or a bit more items by doing a lot of other checks, maybe a bit more overworld checks?
Yeah, it's an interesting call for what the mentor would suggest at that point, I'm sure. I mean, you gotta know what your runner's comfortable with as well, so all those factors to weigh in here.
Yeah, in the end, it's always the decision of the mentee, of course, but a mentor can really help out in here. Okay, so there was the cane. Cane of Samaria was also one of the chests in Mini Moldrum Cave.
So South Shore paying off a whole bunch of early checks here. You know, game's basically saying, here's all the stuff, now go.
Yeah, the world is their oyster right now. Yeah, if you picks, I don't know if you mean the island or Lumberjack, because Lumberjack was the red boomerang. Or do you mean the Cane of Samaria, because that one of them was also red and kind of missed it the first time around?
Maybe relating to the quote for what's on Highly Island. It messed up when I saw it too, but if it's something red, then it could be a heart container, it could be so many different things.
We're also getting a look at the forest, which we missed the first time around. Heart container's decent for now.
Yeah, definitely get a few hearts up there for the runners. Find where that mail comes into play here at some point, and then maybe it increases the comfort level just a little bit. Nice water walk over here on confuseousprime's side. Moving on through, let's go take their visit down to the man under the bridge here.
And hopefully Confucius will take the small detour to check what's on the Kalia Island, so we can also get a good look at it.
Yeah, I think this is a whole play for Confucius all the way through. Sitting with Zora money as well, probably going to clear this whole area up.
Khaemere also getting their blue mail. I don't know if Khaemere checked the chests in the back. No. Probably getting sent back.
Well, you know, you've got all this stuff now and things to do. It's hard to always remember everything all the way across here.
Yeah, it's very, very understandable.
All right, kind of just going back over what each other has done. sure once Confucius sees the fire rod, they're going to discuss it, as well as when they clear it out here and Khaemere and JohnTheBranch get down, find that hammer on race game.
There is the bow for Khaemere. So they did end up going into Pendant Eastern without having the bow. That's a pretty bold strategy.
Yeah, the CAC skip, definitely a bold strategy. It's always really nice when it pays out, though.
It's stuff like, if it works, and it works really well.
Exactly. There's no in between. Either it works or it doesn't.
We are seeing save and quit on Confucius' side, taking out the hammer, and that is going to be our first trip into Dark World.
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense. Start with Hype Cave. You know, take a look at what everything is. You can basically go through pod depending on your comfort with the dark.
I wonder if we get a quick map check as well. Hype Cave not being very hype as usual.
Yeah, where are the good old days when that cave actually had a lot of stuff in it?
To be fair, they got so much stuff, I would be very surprised if they actually found something like the ice rod. It's not gonna pop up until they actually need it. There's our map check. We have reds on Skullwoods and Swamp Palace, and I think there was our last pendant on Palace of Darkness.
A classic pendant pod.
And now the question is, do you want to dip pendant pod?
Not with, I would say not with a fully completable Thieves Town and Skull Woods.
Yeah, I would say so as well. They have too much to complete right now.
Yeah, everything just opened up, so you've got all sorts of things to go do. You know, a lot of the time stick with the ABCD policy. Tends to work out.
Always be clearing dungeons, especially the crystal ones. It looks like Confucius is debating what they want to do right now.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there's just a little discussion here of which direction they want to take this, which is completely fair. I mean, there's all sorts of dungeons, all sorts of things to do. Which way do you go?
Yeah, it could also be that Confucius getting a small tip about how to farm money over here. Very tricky if you're not used to it.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those little tricks. Once you got the hang of it, you know, you realize how easy it works, but to get there is another story.
There's the map check over at Khaemere's side. Both of our runners in Dark World right now, but one of them started out at the southern part of the Dark World. The other deciding to just head into the Village of Outcasts.
Yeah, see how things go one way or the other. I mean, starting with the Hype Cave thing, you know, if Pod was a crystal, maybe they would have thought about moving over there, so it's interesting to see what we're going to find here as we pull the Bombos medallion out of the brewery, so that's interesting.
Yeah, for Ice Palace we already have the Fire Rod, of course, but we need both medallion dungeons to be completed before we can tackle Ganon's Tower. So they will need at least one medallion. And there is the mitts. Wow. That's French vanilla.
Why are they always in here?
I mean, at least it's a crystal dungeon.
Good point. Good point. Yeah, you know, they could be sitting in Pendant Pod.
Confucius also making their way over to the portal near the village of outcasts. I wonder if Confucius and McMonkey decide to just head over to Skullwoods. I don't expect them to, but who knows? Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're heading over just yet.
Moving on through Thieves Town here. At least you've got the boots, other things. I always find Thieves Town, it's not a horrible dungeon, but it's so long, especially if you have to walk through it.
Yeah, I think I was able to go mode this dungeon a week back, and it's just as slow as normal, because you still need to open up the hole in the attic, go down, go to blind cell, grab blind, go back.
Yeah, you only potentially save one room in a go mode situation, and the chest time, I guess, but
it's not a whole lot. And if you have boots compared to if you don't, that's gonna take a long time. Khaemere making their way through the last part of this dungeon. Meanwhile, Confucius entering Thieves Town. We'll get their mitts very soon. There we go. So with the loadout, we have all of the items, including the mitts. We could access Ice Palace right now.
yep, we definitely can. If we can get in there, we can get to a lot of places.
We could also theoretically go to TR right now. If Ether is not the required medallion, of course.
Yeah, definitely. Lots of things to look at. I mean, we're only a couple items away from go mode one way or the other.
Yeah, we still need at least the mirror, the ice rod, and the flute. And I think the runners would like to find the lamp somewhere soon.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice thing when you're moving through all of this stuff.
Also, someone in chat commented that we're a book away from the pedestal. I mean, who needs a book to check pedestal, right? You can still, do a blind pull, see what you get.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the book would get us into desert without a mirror, so that would be one of it. But we're a book or a mirror away now.
Well, there is
Yeah,
an
but still need a
unfortunate
flute.
death. Yeah, we do. And there is an unfortunate death on Khaemere's part. They have the magic powder, so maybe they can. They also have the bucknet, so maybe they can grab some safety before heading over to blind once again. Ooh, Khaemere taking a death once more. Not giving up. This is also one of the things that I think will benefit you a lot when you're in the mentor tournament. For a bit more experienced runners, you know that blind can be dealt with by basically following a script, because blind is following the script. And if you learn the pattern, if you can at least get through the first two phases, you're not as scared of him anymore as maybe you were before you started running this.
Yeah, definitely. One of those ones that just takes some time and repetition to get through.
This is an interesting strat though. Ooh, taking a hit, but the first 3 hits on blind were made by the sword beam.
Yeah, the sword beam always kind of, it's one of those things, if you have to walk in there with it, it's nice you don't have to try to get up there and dance around with blind. Just launch a few things up, get a hit or two in at least.
Alright, there goes blind. And there goes our first crystal. At 32 minutes 34 seconds, Khaemere is the first one who finished a pendant, or rather a crystal dungeon.
1 down, 6 more to go.
It sounds so easy when you say that.
Yeah, well, if only that was ever the case.
It looks like Khaemere is heading over to the race game. We didn't see this on Confuse's screen because Confucius didn't have the proper amount of rupees to pay off the digger. If I recall, you need 80 rupees. Oh my god.
Oh, there it is. Well, that's interesting.
That's a pretty accessible ice rod, and there is a pretty accessible, well, completable dungeon over at TR.
We need a hook shot or a mirror to get there, but
I think, yeah, no, we do need... I thought for a second, oh, you can just go to the right of Hera, but of course you need a mirror to get to Hera, so...
seems like chain, not a bad idea here. I mean, check the pegs and then take the Smith on a world tour.
Yeah, they don't have the mirror, which would make this much easier, but at least you get some nice overworld checks out of the way. You just got the mids in Thieves Town, so may as well. Confucius also completing Thieves Town, heading over to the north. This may be that coveted Skullwoods play we were talking about.
Yeah, it seems like it's time. Master Sword, 9 hearts, blue mail. Time for a moth.
Sounds like a plan. Khaemere thinking thinking properly, because you have the mitts, you have the boots, you can check Kingston. Which is a very easy to miss check.
Yeah, definitely really easy to walk by if you're not completely aware of it in that exact moment.
You also see our first attempt, I think a first attempt at doing a bomb jump, which is pretty much a staple of this randomizer.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. Make things a little bit quicker here. Once you get another one of those tricks that, as the runners learn more, they just become second nature.
There we go. Gets
Well
the
done.
key. Yeah, that ain't easy to pull off if you're not used to it, so that's really good. Meanwhile, Khaemere handing over to Smith.
I don't know what you think, but I'm not sure they should be hitting those with a hammer.
Yeah, that could be pretty spicy very, very soon. I don't think those were ordinary blueberries.
They had to be pretty special. Okay, and Confucius pulls the mirror out of Skull Woods. That's nice to see. That's a hook shot away from Swamp now.
That's a very good call. So I guess early school woods maybe intended, but definitely paying off. And now with the mirror in hand, we could complete TR.
Yeah, we can get over there, go through it. I mean, depending on how much you like that rail maze without a lamp, but it's
Yep.
it's now there for the taking, as long as it's not ether.
Yeah, I think them going for the back of Skullwoods already. I mean, they're pretty healthy right now. I don't know if they did pick up one of the fairies that they spawned. It could help out with the fight against Mothla. Also want to point out, Confucius does have the Cane of Samaria, but probably forgot about it. I think it's not a big surprise when you're in your first race in this mentor tournament.
Yeah, definitely
But
an easy
they,
thing to forget about. I mean, I think we've all pulled the statue and realized afterwards, oh wait, I had a cane.
yeah, it happened to me a few times. But they do have the game knowledge to get the full magic container, which you will kind of want if you want to go over to Moth area.
Yeah, it's a really nice pickup. And that's on Confucius' side. Pick that up, keep moving through. Is Khaemere taking us into Ice Palace? Wow.
It could be. The items are all there, so
Yeah, you've got all the tools to do it. Might as well go through it. You even got the handy cane to make it that much quicker if you have the knowledge of how to do Icebreaker.
yeah, that's what I'm really curious about right now. Will we see an icebreaker? If not, will we see an Ice Palace bomb jump? Although I think with the, let's call them modern runners, they'd probably learn icebreaker before learning the IPBJ.
Yeah, I think they learn the IPBJ later on as a backup strat.
It's still a very, very useful strat.
Oh, anything that makes Ice Palace longer. I mean, unless you're used to playing NMG, which is something that I don't do a lot of, or hardly any. I don't think I even remember how to do Ice Palace properly, and even then you use the bomb jump if you can.
Yeah, Ice Palace is one of the dungeons I always kind of dreaded whenever I did a normal playthrough, and now we know how to completely break the logic on this dungeon, and now it's one of the nicer dungeons to do for me.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Anything that made that dungeon better. I remember even playing this as a kid when it came out, and just remember never liking have to go through Ice Palace. On Confucius' side there, showing that if you're standing right next to a torch and you shoot the fire rod right, it won't actually light the torch. Just one of those little program things in this game.
Yep. Oh, we find the other cane, the Cane of Burnout, over in Ice Palace. And Confucius, unfortunately, couldn't pick up the full magic refill, but oh, I see they do have at least one fairy. That will help them out in the fight against Moth.
Yeah, move on through. Moth somewhat being a little bit polite here, not hugging the top near as much, so that might be nice.
Yeah, once Moth is caught between every little spike over there, basically just doesn't take damage. Oh wow.
All done.
Confucius, yeah, very well done. Keeping their fairy as well. Very good fight.
Yeah, that's one down. That's a 5/6 crystal in the book, so very nice to see on Confucius' side. That's two over there. Khaemere still moving on through here. The only thing I've noticed is Cane of Burn. I haven't seen anything else yet.
Yeah, me neither. We see a full heart container right now. So I also think there's one item left.
Yeah, should be one left in here somewhere along the way. And then have to, you know, do the fun thing and drop through the floor and go fight a bunch of eyeballs that hit like trucks.
Yeah, I think learning how to do bosses without taking much damage is one of the more, maybe not advanced strats you can learn, but it will definitely help. Knowing how to dodge Cold Stare, for instance, is really nice to know.
Yeah, and if Cold Stare gets away from you, it doesn't really matter what you have. Unless you're with Red Mail and 17 Hearts, he always hurts.
Also, we kind of glossed over it, but Khaemere did actually pull off the Icebreaker, and now also pulling off a bomb jump, so really good showcase of a few glitches we like to use in our randomizer.
Yeah, absolutely right. I did notice them and didn't say anything either, so yeah, it's great. It's nice to see all the little tricks coming out here with the runners, seeing what they know.
Looks like Khaemere is going to stock up on some health.
Yeah, handy little piece of game knowledge here with the fairy room down here. Take advantage of your bug net if you have an empty bottle. Top up the health. Makes Cold Stare just that much more comfortable.
Yeah, you want that fight to be as comfortable as possible. Also grabbing some magic.
Yeah, between this and the 2 pots in the next room, it's enough to at least fire out bombos and save yourself maybe a few fire rod shots as well.
Yeah, without the half magic, you're basically just going through all of your magic when using your fire rod shots, so I expect them to go for bombos.
Yeah, definitely. Break the shell with that. Save yourself a few shots just in case things go a little bit awry. Fuchsia's heading to Catfish here, so it's a new check on this end for us.
Very good use of keeping the Cold Stare eyeballs in one corner right there. I guess our catfish only had a boomerang for sale.
Catfish with a boomerang, so all that walk for a stun item that can make GT quicker if you know all those little tricks with it. And Cold Stare down on Khaemere's side. Very nice fight. Way to handle that.
Yeah, they handle that very well. And that's also crystal number 2 for Khaemere.
So I guess a real question for the runners is, where to next?
Yeah, so far the seed has been very, very, very open with all of the items we got in the first couple of sphere checks.
Yeah, it's more of just where do you feel like going at this point here. I mean, the options are quite vast here for the runners. You can clear up Skull Woods. You could head up to Dark Death Mountain. I mean, without a hook shot, you're still going to get some items, but they could be just sitting up there as well.
Looks like we're getting our sick kid check out of the way. Just a bunch of firewood.
Yep, moving on through. Confucius heading to pod. No real surprise here. It's your next dense location. Depending how you like to handle the dark as well. I mean, if you can handle the maze, then there's a whole bunch of checks in here, but seems like a good way to head before they're heading to ice, or they can head to ice too, but oh.
Yeah, that is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Confucius kind of miscounting their rupees maybe, but you need 10 rupees to make the monkey follow you, and then 100 to actually open the dungeon. Now he has 100, but unfortunately a little bit too late to get the monkey to open pod right away.
Yeah, I didn't look at the rupee count either, so I was definitely guilty of that one. I would have been guilty of that one as well.
It's a very easy thing to miss. I think the reason is because Confucius, if I recall correctly, did check Zora and Khaemere didn't. That's a difference of around 500 rupees you see right now.
Yeah, definitely. Alright, Khaemere heading in here, going to have their dance with the moth. Confucius going through Eastern. I'm guessing at this point they're going to probably try to give the whole thing a shot.
I think so as well. We do know that Khaemere did a couple of checks in Eastern, but did those early on and then died in one of the dark rooms, I think leading to the vanilla big key chest.
Yeah, that's one of those rooms that if you go in there with low health and just can't quite escape the enemies the right way, it catches up on you as well.
Definitely. So while we're waiting to see if Confucius gets through the dark rooms and see if Khaemere can dance with the moth, as we said, maybe it's a good idea to give a shout out to our runners and our mentors joining us today. Give them a follow. They're trying their hardest right now and giving us a good show. I also want to give a shout out to our crew today, with Artaryl as our Restreamer, and Zoglug as our tracker, and of course TJ as my co-commentator.
I'll, thank you, but don't forget about yourself in there.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to see someone struggle in seats, then at least you have fun. And we're having fun right now.
Yeah, definitely. Moth goes down on Khaemere's side. Another crystal.
That was a really good fight as well.
Yeah, both of these runners handle the moth quite well. Very nice to see.
Yeah, so far I'm pretty impressed with our mentees. It's not easy to jump in and go and do some randomizers with someone giving you some tips, and you yourself trying to think for yourself, and yeah, it can be rough, but these executions on a couple of those tough boss fights have been really excellent. Excellent.
Yeah, definitely. Moving through, showing, that they've picked up on some of the basics and other little quirks of this game in this randomizer, and putting on display for everybody here watching, so that's really nice.
Looks like Confucius made it through the dark room. I guess there's just a big key in the vanilla location. Yeah, there we go. So still 2 checks to do. Because I don't think they found all of the items. So we have the big chest left, and of course, Hermos if they decide to go there.
Yeah, definitely. The only item I saw was a piece of heart, So
Beacon of Hearts. Yeah, they're heading over to our most sides.
another little piece of game knowledge here that runners have. There's fairies down in those pots as well.
Yeah, those fairies can really be a lifesaver if you're heading into dungeons with low health.
Yeah, definitely. Or if you end up, trying this room in the dark and everything gets away from you. It's nice to jump back out and top up with a fairy refill too. Good bomb jump there too on Khaemere's side. That little jelly was trying to make sure that it didn't happen, but got ahead of it just in time.
It was very clean. And they did pick up a key over there, but they will be picking up their mirror very, very soon.
Yeah, there it is. Both items out of there. Interesting to see which direction that they choose to go. Like south for purple chest and K45.
Yeah, with the mirror in hand, they can do the smith chain a bit easier. And like you said, just go down the south part, use your mirror, and hand over the purple chest.
Yeah, it definitely works out well. I mean, there's no time. They've already started the smith chain when they took the smith back. This clears this whole section up for them, so we'll have to think about it later, unless the book happens to surface.
We see the mushroom over at K45. We also saw Confucius killing off the Armos Knights, only gets rewarded by 20 rupees.
Yeah, go back and grab Kiki here. Head into pod now with the funds in hand. Alright, see what's direction going here. Khaemere showing off a little bit of tech here that if you can drop the purple chest anywhere in the dark world, and as long as you mirror right next to the thief that unlocks it, it'll just be like it followed you the whole way.
We have the confirmation over there, another 20 bucks. And it looks like Khaemere is heading over to the desert area. I don't believe we've seen that from any of our runners.
Yeah, I don't believe so either. Interesting to see what's on the ledge here. Go up and see what's in the cave. Hey, there's the lamp. Just sitting there on the bridge in pod.
I mean, that's a very nice find because Pod has a lot of dark rooms. Confucius trying to outsmart the jellies. I think they made it work. Meanwhile, Khaemere deciding to go to Dark World after checking Gina. I don't think there was anything worth noting over there.
No, there was nothing there. A piece of heart on the ledge, and I believe it was 20 bucks in the chest in Nagina, but this must be the pod play on their side as well.
Yeah, and like someone in chat pointed out earlier, they still have to do the digging game eventually to go and grab their ice rod, and probably the only way they'll return there is either if they decide to do a bit of the Smith chain, or if they want to go to Skullwoods and route in the digging game along with it. I'm sorry, that's not Khaemere, by the way. That's Confucius. I got confused myself.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think we all got what you were saying, but yeah, this is interesting here. Are going towards Are they going to end up going towards Catfish? Are they thinking about Pendant Pod? Are you thinking about Hookless Swamp? I mean, nobody really likes doing that, but it's an option.
Hookless Swamp is definitely an option. I've had it happen that the hookshot was in, I think, the vanilla big key chest, and because I got so used to using my hookshot over at left side swamp from the left side to the right side, I just forgot that I could actually just drop down. It was in one of my mentor races.
No, that makes sense. I mean, the randomizer gives us so many different options of ways to do things that aren't necessarily the normal way the game was, so.
Also, we see that Confucius now has a full set of medallions.
Yeah, definitely. So Ether must be sitting somewhere in here. Maybe on the right side. I totally missed the pickup of it.
Khaemere trading in a mushroom for a heart container.
Yeah. And as Secretly Silver's pointing out in chat, it does look like Confucius Prime learned a trick there mid-race with the bonk off the edge of the stairrail to cross the gap. So, very nice to see.
Yeah, that's what I also really like to see right now. The money farm attempt we saw earlier this race, I think, was also a spur of the moment thing. But it's nice. I mean, these races, of course, you want to win, but you can also learn a lot. You can learn tricks. You can learn how to do stuff, and the bonk off the ladder over there is just a very good strat to make routing a bit easier in pod.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to do than, say, trying to do the clip with Samaria, where you do the auto stairs to get up there, and a lot cleaner. It's going to work for you every time once you figured it out. So, if you're learning it on the go, why not?
Confucius making their way through kind of a dark maze that isn't so dark anymore.
Yeah, semi-illuminated maze now.
I think Khaemere is heading back to the catfish area, so I guess they will want to see if Zora had the answer.
Yeah, looks like that's the play on Khaemere's side. And where's Confucius going?
Maybe they can go up the mountain now they have the lantern. Mountain is in logic. They have the mirror, so they can do a lot of checks over there.
Yeah, makes sense. 7 in Paradox. You know, the old man check. Spectacle Rock inside and out. A lot of items incoming here real fast. It'd be interesting to see what they find.
Yeah, the most unfortunate part about this is that they cannot complete Turtle Rock because they still haven't picked up their Ice Rod from Racing Game.
Yeah, that's the downside if they end up thinking about going in.
And right now we see why you shouldn't be dashing when you have an old man following you.
Yeah, Confucius showing us that old guy just cannot move that quick anymore.
I think we all did that.
Oh yeah, that's definitely one you learn in game. That's for sure. Alright, Khaemere heading back to the Dark World. Is this a swamp play? Is this heading to pod? This we'll find out here momentarily.
Tactical rock. Has 20 bucks on top of it. And what do we have inside? Oh, it's the book.
Oh,
Okay.
good.
Wow.
That puts Ped in logic.
Yep, you can actually just complete the desert, and I mean, they cannot grab the ice rod anymore, but I guess flute could still be on Ped.
Yeah, there could be something there. I mean, we'll find out. About the only thing that we're worried about, I guess, is hookshot or flute.
Yeah, I was about to say hookshot could be there as well. I see we have a fan of Pedestal over here in the chat.
Who doesn't like a good Ped seed? As long as you're watching it and not playing it.
Very true. It looks like Khaemere's finally plunging into the Palace of Darkness, which for we know is a little bit empty. You do have the lamp over there, and you have ether, presumably.
Yeah.
But I think that's all.
Yeah, that's all we've seen so far. Confucius not heading back to Helma. Whether I wasn't counting items, whether or not there wasn't an item on Helma, or just decided not time to kill the boss. So
It's completely fine to root for a Petsy.
definitely.
To be fair, they have half the job done already because they both cleared. Oh no, wait. There's Eastern not cleared for Khaemere yet, but they will almost full clear pod at this point. Fuses only has the boss left over there, completed Eastern, so yeah.
Yeah, they each have a piece of that pedestal puzzle, if you will. Here, see if they go. Interesting to see on Khaemere's side if they decide that, you know what, we're in here, let's just finish it, or move on to bigger and better things, especially once that lamp shows up.
The Ether tablet not giving us anything, but we do have the red mail.
Yeah, that's always a nice safety to get here. Now, you know, bump into anything, things can go a little bit south and you're still going to be okay.
They did find the big key over in the second chest in Hera, so they can just advance without having to go to basement right away.
Yeah, only have to go down there if, you know, there might be something, or if you really don't feel like pushing it.
And over on Khaemere's side, just going through the motions in Palace of Darkness. I did see the actual ether pickup earlier, which was in, I guess it's the jellyfish room after you use your bow.
Yeah, over in the, believe that's, I can't even remember if that's map or compass now. Huh, interesting.
Yeah, you tend to forget the vanilla locations of those two. Please get them confused.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think we saw one item over at Confuse's side. I don't know. No, he didn't open up the big chest yet, so that's interesting.
Yeah, unless we missed an item. Yeah, that's quite quite odd why you didn't go.
Oh
for
yeah,
that.
of course we. I just remembered they found the red mail
Oh, the
in the
mail was in the
basement. So
basement. Yeah,
yeah,
that makes sense. All right, third crystal down for Confucius, fourth dungeon overall. Now move on over here to East Death Mountain and go through Paradox, Spiral, you know, Super Bunny, all that fun stuff. Let's see what they've got, what the mountain's hiding.
Yeah, the mountain can be a treasure trove. Of course, they only need 2 items to be in go mode right now. And for Confucius, we know that they will not be in go mode after this mountain trip because Ice Rod is on the racing game. But still, you can get a lot of stuff. The only thing that could possibly be a bit tricky is if Confucius does find the hookshot or the flute or both, it could deter him away from the Ice Rod location over at the digging game.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what comes here, what pulls them away, what pulls them away one way or the other. You got a feeling like something's going to show up here, perhaps the flute to send you towards Mire. Khaemere going back in. I guess they've decided it's time for Helmasaur.
Yeah, I don't mind this play. I haven't counted the items. I don't know if there's an item over to Helma, but this is not a place you want to get back to. Like, it's a pretty long trek over to Pod.
Yeah, no. If you're here and you've made the decision that you're going to come in, you know, decide to clear it. Like I said, I didn't count items either, so.
First 2 checks over at Confucius' side. Nothing much. Let's see now. That is a very empty Paradox Cave.
Yeah, you're gonna have a bunch of money and be really healthy, but it's not gonna move you along in the seed very much.
It's actually a little bit rude for Confucius, who was struggling for money at the start, and now having over 800 rupees.
Yeah, the seeds just said, okay, fine. All right, here you go. Here's all the money when you don't really need it or want it. But I mean, extra safety money's never a problem if you decide that's the way you want to take it.
Yeah, they know they will need to get the flute to advance over to a GT, so if they want to stock up on some health, some potions, they can just do that, and they have the money for it, so that's nice.
That temperate sword is also really nice.
Yeah, it sure is. Kind of all in red right now.
Yeah, definitely all decked out in red here. Guessing you're gonna see what the TR medallion is. Check the bonkable chest in here.
Yeah, I do think you can tell by the movements that Confucius is doing right now. He's trying something he hasn't tried before. Oh, there's just 50 rupees on Helmasaur. That's 1 extra dungeon down over at Khaemere's side, with 1 of the pendants down.
I'm wondering if, with completing that, if they're starting to think about maybe a ped play of some sort, or just decided because they were there, let's do it.
Yeah, they're looking to complete Eastern as well, because we know that there are 2 items left in the big chest and on Armo's night, so I wouldn't be surprised if they decide to just take the dip and go grab their second pendant.
Yeah, it makes sense, especially with, like you said, 2 items, and you're really never planning on coming back in this direction, so if you're going to do it now.
Floating Island only holds a piece of heart.
Now, this is where the question comes in. Does Confucius dip Turtle Rock?
Alright, that's the Bombo's entrance. Of course they have it. Both runners already have all 3 medallions. I am curious to see if Meyer will end up being Ether or not, because that was, apart from the lamp, that you would logically require, but if you're adept at doing the dark rooms, maybe don't require. Let's see if Pendant Pod was technically empty or not.
Yeah, we'll see if that pod dip pays out. I mean, it's going to pay out for the runners because, I mean, everything's a bit easier with that lamp, so.
Oh yeah. Especially if you need to do Turtle Rock and Misery Mire. Yark can be okay, but Mire is, even for the more experienced runners, it's still kind of tricky to complete the dark rooms.
Yeah, definitely. That first dark room in Mire and the switch room in Mire, that either goes perfect or it goes horribly wrong. There's no in between on that one.
Yeah.
Khaemere moving on through here. Fuchsius lighting the torches, gonna get back into the roller room here momentarily. Just has to take another spin around the block. Unfortunate that they are in here without having that ice rod from Dig Game, but you know, the next piece of the puzzle that could move them on could be very well just sitting in here.
Yeah, it's also unfortunate that they don't have the hook shot, so they don't need to take the long way around again.
Yeah, definitely just moving on through here. Khaemere back to the Sarmos Knights fight. Fuchsia's head back in. Gonna head to the left this time, then work the way back through, go dance with some chomps and see what goodies Turtle Rock has.
Yeah, the chomps, they sound kind of harmless, but we assure you they're not.
Yeah, they might be this game's version of dogs in some way, but yeah, don't pet the dogs. Because they even hurt on red mail.
Down goes Armo's Knights, and that's the second pendant pendant dungeon over at Khaemere's side. So the only pendant dungeon left is the green pendant.
Be interesting to see the thought process on that side when they finally head up the mountain and see the book.
Yeah, I wonder, because they do have the ice rod, they will be able to just complete TR in one go. Interesting to see if they, I expect them to do that, but maybe after their trip to the mountain, if that wasn't enough. I could see them go to desert.
Yeah, you've taken the time to finish up the other two. Might as well just keep it in your back pocket, you know, clear up TR, see if it gets you anything along the way, but if not, then check it out.
Yeah, and I also think they checked a lot of the other stuff. Like, I think they may have skipped out on the graveyard ledge. I don't know for sure, but there's not a whole lot left. And if they don't find the hookshot or the flute is somewhere near TR, there's not much left to do than just go to desert area.
Yeah, they've been pretty thorough in their checks all the way through here. Could be one of those lovely chains where they end up finding the hook shot on pedestal and it leads to the flute in back of swamp or something. But here I am just talking nightmare scenarios. Let's just see where the seed takes us.
Yeah, I almost forgot about swamp. We still have that option. Required double dip into swamp. Oh, wait.
There it is.
Okay, so maybe not a double dip into swamp, but at least we have the hook shot. So
Yep.
this is interesting because it's going to open up a lot for Confucius. But we also know that Ice Rod is not behind the hook shot.
Yeah, it's going to probably definitely lead to a really thorough full clear of swamp, where once Khaemere picks up that hook shot, they'll be in flute go mode.
Khaemere picking up the book right now. Attempting to do one of the, in my opinion, trickier bomb jumps. But makes it over. Very nice.
Well done.
Confuses remembering to check out Mimic Cave before heading over.
Yeah, that's good on Confucius' side. That is a easy one to walk by.
Yeah, I know if you are only one item away from go mode, you tend to see people open up the big chest first, because if you need to finish the dungeon anyway, it's a bit faster to just pick up an item on the go than having to go to Mimic Cave first.
Yeah, those mirror transitions are awfully slow.
They are. Confuses getting rewarded by a bottle. I think it's not the worst thing to have, especially if you want to go to GT and maybe, like we said, pick up some safety. You want to have some bottles to actually keep the safety in.
Yeah, having a few extra bottles definitely not going to hurt. You know, you pick up the safeties. It turns GT from a bit of a crunch to a lot more comfortable of a dungeon. All right, both runners moving through here. Khaemere finding out that besides the mail, there was just money in Hera. Confucius out of magic.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. They cannot go to the latter half of TR, cannot go to Laser Bridge to see if maybe Flute was on there. But yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. But it's going to be interesting to see what Confucius decides to do right now. It's probably going up to the Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, this looks like a hookshot cave check. Probably was planning on checking it afterwards, but now everything's kind of just stepped in line here.
Meanwhile, Khaemere finishing off our old friend Moldorm, grabbing another crystal. I believe that's their 5th crystal or 4th. Yeah, that's 4 crystals down, 3 to go for Khaemere.
Yeah, on the way over here, you know, the East Death Mountain checks.
Confucius picking up a full magic container. Tenet pointing out that there was a magic refill container somewhere in TR that they didn't pick up, unfortunately, but we're gonna see what Hookshot Cave has for us.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
wow.
handy.
Yeah, I bet they would have wanted that just before. Alright, so only half magic inside the Hookshot Cave, nothing more. And I would not be surprised if Confucius decides to go to Swamp Palace at this point.
Yeah, chase that hookshot. There's a whole slew of items in here. See if we can put you the other way and hope that you come across that ice rod before you head back to TR, which we know where it is, so it'll be interesting to see when they get over there. The swamp clear, that'll open up Pyramid Ferry, so there's always that to think about as well.
Yeah, and you're basically right next to the bomb shop when you exit Swamp Palace, so that's pretty useful. And it's going to be interesting what they will do after that, because, like we keep saying, they still have that ice rod hiding at the graveyard, the digging game, sort of a graveyard. They could also just decide to go and check out somewhere in desert.
Yeah, there's still just the way the items have fallen for this seed. There's so many places you can go. It's just there's never just one option where you streamlined. Definitely a non-linear seed. I mean, as we're witnessing right now, they've all cleared up the same amount of things one way or the other. Khaemere having an extra dungeon or two done, but you know, they've all done them at different times, so seeds definitely left the options available. Moving through swamp here, Khaemere opening up TR. Continue their trek through there. Grab their hook shot and see which direction that sends them from there. Probably to swamp.
Yeah, it may depend a bit on what they find on Laser Bridge or even Prinex. Because, of course, we didn't get to see at least those checks on Laser Bridge over at Confuseous side.
Yeah, depending what the back half of TR has on there has for them. Yeah, you're right. If it's just the flute, then they just go and clean things out. If not, then you could send them somewhere else. Khaemere finding that tempered sword. Gonna be really happy to see that on their side.
Yeah, one thing we haven't mentioned yet, but they haven't found silver arrows yet. And if you want to beat Ganon, you at least need the Master Sword. Well, they had it for a while. But sending relatively new players to a Ganon fight without silvers and without at least a tempered sword can be very, very rough. So having the tempered sword is extra good, I think, for a bit of a newer bunch of runners we have today.
Oh yeah, and the difference between master sword and tempered sword is just, you know, it's through the roof for level of comfortability and whatnot. Both runners probably hoping maybe that silvers just happen to be in line while you're looking for the GT bake or something.
Usually just going through the back of swamp the regular way, not attempting to do diver down, which I think is a good idea if you're not comfortable with the strat. It only saves you a little bit of time, so it's best to just do what you're comfortable with and make sure you get through the dungeon.
Yeah, definitely. End up losing more time trying to push to do a trick that you're not comfortable with.
To answer our chat, Mr. Aaron's Nerd asking about the ice rod, why Confucius and McMonkey decided to skip the digging game. That was because when Confucius got to the digging game area, they only had, I think, 54 rupees, and it was pretty clear to us that Confucius and McMonkey were debating doing the arrow game to get some money. They attempted it a few times, but it didn't work out, so they saved and quit and left it behind until now, at least.
Yeah, and then of course after that, with all the, as you pointed out earlier, with all the struggles that Confucius had with money earlier in the seed, then the seed throws, you know, 300 upon 300 at them.
Confucius fighting Argus right now, which is a good boss to have Tempered Sword on. If you don't have Tempered Sword, also look at that money again. If you don't have Tempered Sword while fighting Argus, then you need at least 2 hits or a bit of a spin strat to be able to kill those blobs fast. You could also do an item swap over to from hookshot to hammer and back and forth. Tempered Sword, you don't need to worry about any of that. You can just hit them once and they die.
Yeah, Tempered Sword's a lot better. Definitely way more fun than playing Menu Simulator 2000.
You're absolutely right about that.
On the way back in here, got the big key out of the flooded room, so move on through. I was not fully counting items in here, so not sure if there's 1 or 2 on the other side.
We have our Arrow of Destiny lying in Swamp Big Chest.
Hey, now they can kill Ganon. That works.
Yeah, a very good find. I mean, with that and the Bugnet, I don't know what's stopping them.
Khaemere getting that hook shot out of the lava chest, moving on through here, so it's going to be interesting to see what's in the back half of TR.
We also have Confucius picking up the chest, or the key rather, from the pot. You can see over there getting flooded right now, which is why he grabbed the key before flooding this. And he will go over to the coveted left side swamp to see if those 2 checks have anything of value for
Yeah,
Confucius.
let's see here. Everybody's favorite side of a dungeon that nobody ever wants to see.
It's, for me, I don't mind it as much if I decide to route it in right away with some handy diver down tricks and sealing the key beforehand. But if you have to go back in and do a left side swamp, that's when it to me, it feels incredibly slow.
Yeah, definitely. That's what it definitely stings a little. Interesting, not using the hook shot to go across, just going to loop back around.
Yeah, it could be that they forgot they had a hook shot as well. It's just, if you're very used to routing a dungeon a certain way, maybe you usually play this dungeon normally, where you don't have the hook shot until you get the big key from the chest you're getting right now, then getting the hook shot from the big chest. It can mess with you. It can very easily make you forget about the item loadout you have, actually.
Oh, definitely. Muscle memory can be very, very deadly at times.
Okay, we're getting a few new checks. Confucius bringing the book over to Bomba's tablet, and Khaemere going over to the laser bridge.
Yeah, taking that safety door strat here. Nothing wrong with that. It's nothing worse than going all the way through TR and something bad happening and having to restart at the front, or even at the big chest, the big key doors. So better safe than sorry.
Yeah, I think it's a smart move. You don't want to have to worry about having to redo the entire dungeon, as you say. Okay, so we do see Confucius going over to K45, which I think will mean that they will head over to Graveyard. I'm saying it again, the digging game. I'm confusing Dompe with the digging game, I think. Yeah, but it does look like Confucius will be getting their Ice Rod very soon.
Yeah, looks like their plan was probably come over here and do this and then head into the Smith chain, as they haven't touched any of it, so.
After this, Confucius getting their Ice Rod, I think they still have most or maybe everything left from the Smith chain, which I guess could lead them into Desert Palace, and we still haven't found the flute, so it could be that flute is over there.
It's looking more and more likely like flutes in desert, on Ped, or at Pyramid Ferry at this point. There's not a whole lot left to see.
We're 1 hour 32 minutes in, and Ped is still alive.
Someone look into it. That must be some sort of record.
Over on Khaemere's side, making short work of the Trinix heads, which is good because that's a very empty magic meter. Finishing the fight.
Well, that's handy.
Okay, so I guess we won't be searching for them in GT.
Yeah, it just changed just made the Ganon fight that much more comfortable. Both runners will not be unhappy to see those, that's for sure.
I wonder if we will see, Khaemere going back to the Hookshot Cave to get their half magic. I wonder if we'll see Spike Cave, because I don't think we've seen that on Confucius' side yet.
No, we haven't. And finding that half magic just will make it that much easier. I mean, got the health to tank it, everything else without burning your magic meter out, but might be the time to do it now because you're pretty much done up here except for going into GT. Alright, so we've got purple chest maybe into a desert play here on one side, and Khaemere showing us Spike Cave, which is always fun.
Thank you, Palmencott, for the subscription. It's very much appreciated. And I'm sure the mentees are very, very grateful for your support. They're trying their best out there. Oh my god.
There it is. Alright, 1 hour 34 minutes and 52 seconds roughly. Khaemere is in go mode.
That is a very... The placement of the Ice Rod, I feel like, has determined a lot in this race. Especially with the unfortunate money issue that Confuse got hit with.
Yeah, it's definitely changed things around. Finding that early ice rod, pushing you up the mountain, and then jumping into that lovely spike cave and getting into goat here. You know, finding all the other tools along the way. Sure, both runners will appreciate having that lamp out of the pendant pod.
And it looks like Confucius is going to hand in their mushroom, which I believe they can trade for a full heart container.
Yeah, I believe that's what that trade-in was. So, and yeah. On here, we're off to Meyer. Interesting to see if this ether was for Meyer as well, making hard required or just convenient.
Nope. Once again, it's bombos. So we needed bombos for both medallion dungeons.
All right, here we're gonna have a kind mire and let Khaemere just head back to the eyeballs quick, or we're gonna have to dig all the way.
And it looks like Confucius decides to head into Ice Palace. Makes sense. It's a crystal dungeon, they still have to complete it.
Yeah, I haven't been there yet. Go get it done. Nice of the way this fell here for Khaemere, clearing up TR first, getting the silver arrows, so you know, Fiddy's that much nicer, and hey, nice early big key.
Yeah, that's a very nice Godmire they get there.
Yeah, I love when Mire works out.
Yeah, Myra is one of the dungeons. It can take you forever to get through. Or you can just find the big key in one of the first chests and you can just head over, go and fight a bunch of eyeballs.
Yeah, exactly. It's slight thing, the difference between, you know, 2-minute dungeon and a 5-minute dungeon. Alright, moving on through here. Confucius going through Ice Palace the more traditional way. Interesting to see if we have if we're going to see a bomb jump here. And Khaemere just moving on through, heading back to Vidi, hit that switch, and take out the silver sticks, and nobody blink, because you're gonna miss Demetrius' fight if you do. Alright, Fuchsia's moving through here. We're lining up a bomb jump. It'd be nice to see an older piece of tech that still comes in handy all the time in Rando, as well as just a regular NMG run. And there we go, a few silver arrows, and blink and you miss a Vidi fight. And through here, so with that, Khaemere will head to Swamp, and then we will be on the way to GT. Fuchsia's here, still trying to line up this bomb jump, get a hand here. I'm sure they're talking through it. Oh, that was all right there.
Yeah, with the low amount of health, I think they have fairies. Yeah, at least they have one. They can try again. So we see on Confucius' side trying to complete the Ice Palace with the Ice Palace bomb jump. We will see Khaemere heading into Swamp Palace soon. I'm gonna go mode that. While we're waiting, we already told you about our wonderful crew, our wonderful runners and mentors today. I'd also want to plug our Go Mode podcast for a bit. Go check them out. We have a lot of fun races lined up for you during this mentor tournament, at least, and yeah, more shenanigans, more fun to be had. And if you're interested in ever checking out this randomizer, we have a great community, so you can check out our Discord, and hopefully we'll see you there.
Yeah, check it out, everybody. If you're not part of this community, it's great and lots of fun. And moving through here.
I have to say, I am impressed by these runners today. You do see a couple of struggles, a couple of hiccups here and there. Of course, that's bound to happen. But you also see tricks being learned live, them attempting to do a couple of things they probably haven't tried before. And that's just great. And a couple of boss fights, especially both Marthula fights, were very, very great to see.
Yeah, it's been awesome to watch a bit of learning on the fly here, and as well as you said, some of the boss tech here, they've handled these really well, especially the situations that aren't always necessarily ideal. He's just moving through. Gonna head to Ice Tea and get that big key. Khaemere as well, moving through Swamp Palace in the more traditional way here, so it's another one of those things. If it's a trick you're not super comfortable with, don't. You'll end up losing more time trying it when you're not comfortable. Work on it later and just keep going through slow and steady, right?
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Some of the tricks are easier to learn on the fly as well. For instance, the bonk on the stairs we saw in Pod.
Yeah, definitely the different aspect of it. Something that requires a few precise presses or something. It's not always the best thing to try to pick up on the go.
I did notice while Khaemere was pushing the block over onto the switch, they also didn't think of using their Cane of Samaria to just create a block out of thin air. Get that over with a bit quicker. So I also think, I don't know if the runners will check out their own race, but if they do, that's probably a very interesting part to scrutinize. Like, what can you use with the loadout you have? How can you be just a little bit faster if you know you have boots or you know you have the cane?
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes that's the most fun. I'm sure that these runners will learn that too, watching back things and picking up stuff of your own races.
And down goes Argus, dropping another 100 bucks. And I think that's the last of our crystal dungeons for Khaemere.
Yeah, just a trip to GT, so you know what that means. Gotta go in there and find something, so where do you think they might hide it?
Yes, for our viewers, always the highlight of the race. We're gonna guess where our GT big key is hiding it. And I think the way the seed's been going, it could be any place. If I want to count, I think I'll go for 9. It's a little bit in the early part of the chest, but not too early.
I like to usually go with 13. Some are kind of just middle-ish. You know, you get to see a little bit of the dungeon before you just get to climb it. We'll see a 9 and a 2 in chat so far, so we'll keep a little eye, and you won't win anything, but heck, won't it feel nice if you got it right?
Yeah, you win the bragging rights and what was it? A free supply of randomizer seeds, lifetime supply.
A gift that keeps on giving.
Sure does.
All right, we're gonna get a nice gold stair fight here on the on the Confucius side. So let's see how this goes for them.
Also using bombos, grabbing the fire rod right now.
Coming in here with that fire rod, the half magic, tempered sword.
So we're heading into GT on Khaemere's side.
All right, let's see how deep they have to dig for this key now.
Hope Room doesn't seem to give them a small key, so they cannot continue onto the right side. It's going to the left.
Yeah, head over here. Definitely check out Stalfos room. See if they keep going left or decide what they see. Maybe go back right. Interesting to see here in a second.
Yeah, we're up to checks 4, 5, 6, and 7. Here's another bottle. Who doesn't love a red shield?
Comes in handy in here every once in a while if you know fireballs won't go away.
Yeah, I know a few runners that just really dislike shields. I think because of the small lag they bring.
Yeah, I'm really guilty of that. I like to try to find pickets every once in a while and get rid of them.
Meanwhile, we see Confucius deciding to head into desert. I kind of like this play. I think you've already been to the mountain and you had an unfortunate mishap with the lack of magic. So it's no surprise to take a gamble at this point.
No, definitely completely new, and as far as you know, nothing's here. So you want to be thorough before you head back up to TR. You only really want to climb one last time.
We're coming up to, I believe it's the 9th check. Couldn't quite see what was in there, but I guess it was not the big key because they're continuing on to Rando room.
See if Rando room has it here.
That's 13 checks out of the way. So neither of us got it right, but did get rewarded with a gold sword.
Yeah, so I guess it's gonna be up high here. Of course, the way the seed is going and throw a bunch of stuff at him soon, you know, this could be a classic 22 tile room kind of key.
Yeah, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised at this point. Oh,
Oh, unfortunate grab. That wall master can just sneak up on you.
it can be tricky. There are only a couple of rooms in GT where the wall master, the floor master is active. Bit unfortunate.
Yeah, it happens. They sneak up on you. I mean, you can have that. You can navigate the first half of that room perfectly, and it still gets you at the bottom. Confucius here, heading back, going to head to Landmo, grab the green pendant. I'm sure that that's part of the check. They're thinking about that, thinking about head at this point.
Yeah, green pendant pedestal check. That's what I also think they would opt for.
Okay, we're still going.
That's 17 checks out of the way. Still no sight of a big key.
Yeah, we'll have to see if it's behind, everybody's favorite show to go see Armos on Ice.
Smart use of the Kano Burna there. You have a few,
definitely.
yeah, you have a few magic refills in GT anyway. So it's very important to just get through these rooms as quickly as possible. Maybe have to take out Armos Knights over there.
Yeah, Landmo down on Confucius' side. Good use of the fire rod. 6 fire rod shots later.
Check number 18 only giving us a map, so it can only be behind these Armos Knights or in the tile room.
Well, that would be a good trick of the seed. Like I said, they gave you everything early. It would be fitting if they buried it there, but we're about to find out.
Either way, it's hidden very deep within GT. There we go. Check number 20. Yeah, I guess we were all way too kind with our guesses.
Yeah, I think we were just hoping for something nice and quick for the runners here. Didn't want them to take, here we go. Here's the big bomb check on Confucius' side. We know this isn't the answer, but interesting to see what might be back here.
Yeah, there isn't anything useful left, I think, because we also found the gold sword in one of the checks in the render room in GT.
Yeah, this is true. About the only item that's non-progressive by any means that you might find is a cape.
Yeah, going for the full inventory.
Well, it makes quick swapping so nice when you have to go through everything.
Yeah, quick swapping is one of the things you can add to your randomizer. It's not an option in vanilla, but you've seen these runners quick swap all the time. It basically means that instead of having to open your menu and choosing the item and then go back every time, you can just use your left and right side buttons to scroll through the items until you get to the one you want.
Yeah, it's a nice little strategy if you do use it. It's a nice little trick to speed things up. So of course there are some runners in this community that are been here a long time that are probably faster menuing than they are quick swapping. Khaemere moving on through the gauntlet here, starting up, that gold sword. Anything else? Nothing's going to really stand in their way here.
No, they have everything. Very nice room, by the way. They have the gold sword, they have half magic, they have the red mail. They're all set.
Yeah. It's going to be it's going to be a nicer fight for Ganon for them, which will be great because I'm sure in preparing for the tournament they've probably had to have a few that weren't so nice.
So we see over at Confucius' side, I think the Bomb Fairy only had a piece of heart and I thought a couple of rupees.
It was
Saha.
a full heart container. I missed green pendant though.
Green pendant was a bottle of red goo.
Oh, so we actually know where all the bottles are.
Yep. And what I suspected when they entered Dark World to go to Saha, they decide to just finish off Helmstar King. I believe it does have an item, so I do understand this play. I don't think we've seen Pedestal yet, but they can't do that, of course, because they haven't finished Pod yet, so...
Yeah, we'll clear it up now, and then I'm sure they'll think about it. Probably hoping to try to minimize the remaining mountain climbs if possible. We know by the item's position, it's two no matter what. One to go to Spike Cave, and then one to finish the game, technically, but...
Meanwhile, Khaemere getting through a couple of rooms that are really satisfying if you get the hang of killing those whiz ropes in one go.
Oh yeah, that when you get the Canis and Mario working right, there's usually not much of a better feeling in a randomizer run. Those laser eyes being a little bit rude.
Yeah, but Khaemere's still being pretty healthy. And of course, getting a good chunk of health refill in the next room. I think of taking out their magic powder.
Yeah, just moving on through here. Grab the powder, fill up, top up the magic. Go hope that the worm will be nice to you. Helmosaur fight on the other side here for Confucius. 17 hammer hits. A couple sword slashes or spins. And King of Helmosaurs will be down.
Khaemere deciding not to validate this run.
Yeah, just wants to get on with it, move down, move up to do your econometry lesson and go after a pig, make some bacon.
Yeah, and what better to use on the pig than having a butter sword to just get them all ready.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're gonna have bacon, you might as well have butter too.
Helmosaur King down on Confucius' side. I would expect them to go check Pedestal at this point.
Yeah, definitely. Probably check Ped before heading back up the mountain. And Aga 2 down on Khaemere's side, so we've just got to drop into the pyramid after we catch a ride with everybody's favorite duck.
Khaemere doesn't have a bottle of goo, but it does have 2 fairies, and with the red mail, half magic, everything, silver arrows even. This should not pose that big of an issue, I think.
Yeah, hopefully the fight goes well and Ganon doesn't get warp happy or anything on them. Six slashes for each phase, then 4 to move to phase 3, and then move on and get our 4 silver sticks out. So, Butter Sword makes this fight a lot easier if you look at with it here.
Okay, we see a blind pet pool, not even grabbing the book at this point.
You love to see it.
Just some blueberries.
And you're taking a hit on that side, but fairies come back, pick them back up, and back on to Ganon.
Yeah, Khaemere needing to be a little bit careful, but still has another fairy left in one of the bottles.
Yeah, just Careful, bide your time. Just don't want to give him a hug.
Getting the torch glitch. It's not necessarily faster if you have your silver arrows, but it does make your fight a lot safer because you can always track where Ganon is.
Yeah, definitely. If it's not something you're completely used to, then
I think one more silver arrows hit should do the trick. Don't walk over too fast. Oh.
yeah.
And we see the flute over at Confucius' side in Spike Cave the moment Khaemere finishes off Ganon.
Yeah. There we go. So enter go mode on Confucius' side as Khaemere finishes up, and Khaemere finished off Ganon with an official race time.gg time of 2:02:10. Get GG's in chat.
GG's.
It'll wake up the duck here on Confucius' side. Head towards Mire.
Yeah, Confucius with the ice rod and the flute in hand, also in go mode. Only has to finish off both of the medallion dungeons.
At least we know that it's a nice quick mire for them, and they've already got the big key for TR, so they just need to move through the back half and take down Trinex.
It's been, I think it's been a good race. It was very open. You couldn't really tell who was ahead because they both, I think, struggled a bit at the beginning, but then they picked up their game, and it was just a blast to see how it played out.
Yeah, definitely. There was no right or wrong decision in this seed. The way everything was, as you said, it was just so open. They settled in really well, and they've put on a really nice race and a really nice show for us. So that's a bonus. I mean, that's what this tournament's all about: learning and growing, and you know, everybody gets a chance to try to do this along the way through. So more power to them.
While we're enjoying the credit music from Khaemere's side, we see Confucius pretty much doing the same as what Khaemere did in Mire, grabbing this bridge chest, probably heading over to the right, and then finding out at least it's a God Mire.
Yeah, getting the good news that, okay, I don't have to dig in here. I just get to go back and go after the eyeballs. It will be a little bit tougher fight on Confucius' side, not having those silvers off Trinex, but everything in hand, I think they'll handle it just fine. Stick collecting kid, yeah, that's pretty true. It seemed like all the arrow packs were probably just in Kakariko.
We will also see a little bit of a different Vitreous fight because Confucius hasn't finished TR yet, so it doesn't have silver arrows.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do, if it's more of like a turn on Burna and just keep slashing, or
the explosions sleep again.
That's still a really weird place to keep your explosions.
I mean, the Smith also had explosions, so I don't know what's worse.
At least one you need 3 pendants to access, I guess. The other one they're using bombs near them and on them.
Yeah, thanks for saving us. Here are some bombs we just hammered every day.
That's okay, thanks. You keep them. All right, into the back half of Mire here. So hit that switch. You know, keep that powder handy. Hit that anti-fairy in the next room. Top up your health. Well, that anti-fairy didn't really want to cooperate and turn into a good fairy, did it?
You hate to see it. Wow. Fitcher's
Yeah.
being really blind.
Yeah, you can't hit the broadside of a barn.
I think Confucius knows something we don't.
Interesting. Pardon me while I make some notes here.
Well, that's the 6th crystal down for Confucius. Only has TR left, like TJ said. Only has to do the back half because the front half was already done. Still needs to go through everything, but it will save him just a little bit of time compared to when you just have to enter TR fresh.
Yeah, move through, you know. Don't dance with chomps, just walk by them. Just hit the second pipe, take the pokies out of the way, and keep moving. So, definitely a little bit nicer trip through there.
Yeah, they did pick up every chest before the dark elevator room.
Yeah, just have to grab the other key off Laser Bridge.
Yeah.
You should say, no way, I'm not going to fight you around dead rocks. I'm just going to go up this way. Don't blame them at all.
Right. And it looks like we have our winning racer of today, along with their mentor, Khaemere and JohnTheBranch. GG's.
GG's.
GG's, everyone.
So how was it?
It
wasn't terrible.
Stressful.
The deaths were bad. Somebody here was a big old ball of nerves. Didn't realize that only a few dozen people means you're not supposed to be nervous yet. You don't get nervous until you get on speed gaming or ZSR. This was your first real race, right, Khaemere?
Yeah. And I forgot that I wasn't supposed to let my hearts go to 0.
Well, you know,
Classic
that
rookie
happens.
mistake.
We've all done it. We've all been there. Heck, after even doing it for a while, we've still done it.
Yeah, this was only our where Khaemere was actually had a mentor on his shoulder, so he's still getting used to that whole, hey, someone's talking to me while I us make a few we forgot this checks, where we forgot on that second trip over in that direction. There were a lot of those. You saw them, and you saw that he was nerves. Definitely taking a couple of deaths that he normally wouldn't have, but he made it through. It was fine.
Yeah, we did see that especially at the start. Both Khaemere and Confucius had a bit of a couple of issues with the first parts with escape and stuff like that, and I think it's totally understandable. But also, what you mentioned with a mentor mentoring you for the first time, this seed was very, very open. You could basically go anywhere. And I wonder, Khaemere, how was it for you to just have the entire world open for you and then having a mentor telling you some good advice and then having to make all of the decisions?
It was pretty good. I was frustrated with the blind death and the darkroom death, but aside from that, it was all right. I feel like we kind of ran around places we probably didn't need to or could have routed a little bit better.
I think it was one of those seeds that just everything was open. I don't think there was a wrong decision per se, because I mean, you could go anywhere. I mean, for the longest time, even Ped was sitting in the back of your mind. So I think you handled it well, and between you and John, you navigated it quite great for what it threw at you.
Yeah, Ped was on the table until we found Flute.
Yeah, exactly.
Until we hit go mode, Ped was an option.
Yeah, we were actually talking about that, and Confucius ended up checking Pet,
Oh,
also having Flute as a go mode. Yeah, he had the unfortunate timing of being out of rupees while going to the digging game. So
Oh
they
no!
did not find the ice route until much later.
oh, I wondered why they. Okay, that explains why they were had to double tip TR. I wondered if they had taken a death or something.
No, the only thing is that they ran out of magic before heading over to the dark room, so they couldn't actually use the Cane of Samaria to get to the laser bridge either. So that was unfortunate. I do have to ask one thing because our stream died at the start, so we missed a little bit of what you guys did after escape. And
we mean
yeah,
hard.
we think you did check maybe one thing in KOEK, but pretty sure you skipped KOEK for a long time after that, going to Eastern even.
Yeah,
We did not go to CAC at all. We did not even go to Bonk Rocks at first. That's why we had to go back and hit it on that second round, because remember, boots were in escape. This was basically a cash boot seed, so you got a CAC skip, right? So first thing we did, since we knew that it was a pendant in Eastern, is that Khaemere loves doing Saha Eastern. So I said, okay, now's the seed to do it. The only thing we don't have is the bow, and honestly, with the pendant, it feels good. And then just taking that death in the dark room felt really bad, since we knew there was at least one item we could have gotten. Luckily, that rest of that dungeon was empty, and it led us over to pod. I mean, when it was in due time, instead of making us put off pendant pod later. So it worked. But yeah, and then we went South Shore because we were committing to that CAC skip, which ended up not having much itself, and we didn't have Zora money. That felt bad. Had to go back there eventually, really slowly.
that he didn't have anything.
Yep, they didn't have anything. It was all just pod. Pod was the answer. Leoria is laughing at us from, well, not her grave, over on some other server.
Well, in the end, we think because Pod, I think, only had the lamp and ether medallion. So if you were very confident in pulling off every dark room without the lamp, maybe you could have skipped Pod over there.
Oh yeah, we didn't need that ether medallion after all, did we? Yeah, it just opened up logical checks. It didn't give us. I think it also had book, or where was that book?
Book was inside the Spectacle Rock, I think.
Yes,
Yes.
you're correct, because Khaemere was very proud of getting that bomb jump off.
Yeah, we were also proud of Khaemere. I was just telling the audience this is one of the harder, in my opinion, the harder bomb jumps to pull off. And Khaemere just one-tried that. That was great to see.
Yeah, it was really nice to watch.
Oh,
Yeah,
they're about to get their bad news that there's no small key in Hope Room.
Yeah, they did finish off ER earlier, Trinex getting their silvers, at least getting a bit of a reward. If they decide to go to Rando room, at least they will also get the butter sword. And hopefully for them, they will just continue on to Ice Armors after that, because that big key was, with all of the openness that the seed gave us, the big key was very, very far hidden into GT.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that frustrated me. A little bit.
Frustrated me too, because I'm the one that just said no. Just keep going left. Keep going left. Why would you back out and go right from here? And it's a perfectly valid way to route it, but when someone goes the route you don't, and the route you would normally go is faster, you definitely it stings.
Yeah, I kept making the joke that I said, okay, so it opened up and gave you everything early. All right, are we getting a classic tile room here? Because, it had that feeling for quite a while.
Yeah, we were
Yeah, I
only
was.
3 checks away.
Yeah, I was worried about that too. I even
Yeah.
considered doing tile room at the start just because.
Yeah,
I mean,
sometimes that's not a bad play. I mean,
yeah.
whether you feel behind or you're just, memeing and trying to have fun. Every once in a while it works out, and then you constantly sticks in your brain like maybe I should just do that again.
So I do want to point out that while we were watching, we already mentioned that bomb jump you pulled off in Spectacle Rock, but after the like what you said, probably the nerves at the start, we did see a very entertaining race with both of you just going different places, but both pulling off a really good moth fight, having a good cold stare fight. It was very nice to see because having those couple of deaths at the start can really throw you off, I think. So I think to everyone watching, you really did put up a very good show and showed us a bit of execution that you can be proud of, I think.
I was so nervous with Khaemere going into that cold stare fight because we had taken the deaths. I was, afraid that okay, bundle of nerves. He's gonna take the death here, and then I think he made it all the way to the last puff without taking a hit, and then took a hit on the last puff and an icicle. So it ended up being, I felt like that was the confidence boost. Like, okay, well, if you could do that, let's go do the moth now, because we were avoiding the moth because of that we avoided Skullwoods in the first place because we said like, oh, this is a little low percent to be going in, so let's do Thieves Town first, and then we ended up taking that death, and I'm like, okay, well, there's no way we're gonna go to do moth, which of course meant we got that mirror way later. We did that wonky Smith chain where we forgot to do Stumpy the first time. It ended up working out okay, but definitely, definitely, if we could have done the lower percent, it would have been probably about a 15-minute faster seed. But sometimes you got to recognize when you're just going to keep chasing death after death. What if we had died to, moth after dying to blind, and then just died over and over? Then your confidence is shook. You're nervous, and then you start dying on cold stare too.
I actually considered doing hammer on blind because I've practiced that a lot.
Hammer on blind, it can work. I believe you do have a couple of weeks in the Swiss round where you don't have an assured sword, so it could come in handy.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see through your run here if taking some time to learn that's going to pay out, because we all know, like you said, without an assured sword, sometimes that's what it wants you to do.
Sword beams.
It was a really good strat. I actually hadn't thought of that, and then I saw that and I was like, yeah, I mean, that works. Because it's easier to just fight blind the first time because blind can be in a script, and if he's off script, for instance, you have to go back to blind. I thought it was a pretty creative way of.
I was also saying
get rid of
Confucius
it.
needs to use sword beams on that crystal switch. He doesn't need to swap over to anything. Oh well.
Yeah, we did see a couple of those instances where you had boots or you had cane, and we saw you still do a few things that you'd normally do if you don't have those items. which is
Yep.
perfectly understandable. But it's the little things like that that if you watch back and you think, okay, yeah, maybe next time I should remember to grab a cane or use the boots. That's
It's
all fine. It's
especially
all yeah.
yeah, those really early or really late boots finds. Sometimes you just forget you have them. They were how many checks into escape? They were super early.
I think they were in the check before heading over to Zelda, which had the Moon Pearl.
Okay, so yeah, gosh. It just screamed water walk at us too. So we wanted to get over to Zora as soon as we could. That money just wasn't coming.
Yeah, but you also had the flippers at the very first check you did.
Yep.
And it
In the
led to
end,
the fire rod, which was nice.
yeah, and in
Yeah.
the end, not having money for Zora kind of worked out because that was one of the reasons why Confucius did not have the money to go to the digging game. Already paid off Zora.
Ah.
Well, but you could do the arrow game to pick up some more.
You gotta know how to do the arrow game.
It's true.
Oh hey, our stun prize was 20 rupees. We could have been stunning stunning for rupees.
Yeah, they on Confucius' side, we did see them pause a bit inside the arrow game room, and I think probably McMonkey was explaining to Confucius how to properly get your money up from the arrow game, and they tried a few times, but they didn't have the money to continue, so then they saved and quit. So they did know that it was on the table, but like John said, you need to know how it works, and if you've never done that, it can be tricky only having a few attempts to try.
Yeah, definitely one of those things that I'm not sure if you always want to learn on the fly. Once it's one
Ooh,
of
I
those
like
ones.
that block throw.
Yeah, that was that was different. I really like that too.
It probably doesn't save time, but it looks cool.
That's all that matters in the end sometimes, right, John?
Yeah. Swag over speed. Am I right?
Absolutely. I mean, we all try to block clip in left side swamp, right?
If you're in the mentor tournament, may as well have fun with it.
Exactly.
So how are you feeling now, Khaemere, after running the race, winning the race even? Do you feel exhausted or happy or anything in between?
Just trying to calm my nerves and relax and just calm down, I guess.
Go back to family life.
Oh yeah, actually, I need to pick up my daughter from daycare shortly.
All right. In that case, I will thank you both for hanging out with us for an interview, and we wish you good luck in the next couple of races. And we will continue watching how Confucius finishes the race, and probably have them over here soon as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for chatting. Please give my GGs to Confucius.
Will do.
I'll stick around and say GG to him. I'll just stay quiet until they're done.
Yeah, that's
Thanks.
perfectly fine.
Sounds good. Good luck the rest of the way.
Yep, GGs everyone.
GG's.
Well, those many Helmosaurs aren't playing nice here.
Yeah, Confucius is getting trolled over here. To be fair, it's very easy to slip up. If you get hit once, you're basically off the beaten path, and then it only gets harder from there.
Yeah, then you're into no man's land.
3 hits halfway there. Oh,
Great
that's a
position there.
triple.
Nice triple. Well done.
That must feel good.
Oh, definitely. Slogging all the way through this, picking up a triple right at the end before the pig fight.
Yeah, it's only Ganon from here. And Confucius, I don't know if Confucius has... oh god, John. I don't think... I don't know if Confucius has a fairy. I do think they have 1 or 2 blue bottles.
I think
Blue
there's
goo,
2.
so.
I think there's 2 bottles of blue goo, but I'm not aware of the fairy.
No, so they should be fine if they remember to grab it before they are at the 0 hearts.
Nice use of Burna here. Just get inside, move this face on.
Over on phase 3. Oh, there we go. 1 blue goo left. Use the red potion. I think they got it from the green pendant from Saha. Also going for the torch glitch. Oh, didn't get it.
Might work out okay here. Sometimes it's when you're using silvers, it's not too bad to miss it, and as long as Ganon plays nice.
Yeah, you always have to make sure that you don't get knocked off again and when he's somewhere near the bottom of the screen.
Yeah,
Just needs to
and
be a
sneak up
little bit
on you.
careful. Yeah. This is good. Good patience by Confucius. Only needs 1 more hit. Okay, he made it.
Nice save on that side. Well
He
done.
scared me there.
Yeah, me too. I quieted right up. Get your GGs in chat for Confucius Prime. Crossing that bridge and finishing with a racetime.gg time of 2:29:14.
GG's. I'm glad that Confucius and McMonkey decided to finish the race. I don't know if they're aware of Khaemere already finishing, but I think it's always good. You have a mentor looking alongside you, so you can still learn from doing the dungeons. Doing GT is always a very big thing. You always have to do that in these randomized seeds. At least the one that they're playing right now. So yeah, I think that's good. I'm really curious to see how Confucius has experienced their first seed.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be interesting to get their thoughts. And yeah, it's great for them to finish it out. And like, as you said, you've got a mentor there. You only get 6 weeks of that in this tournament. I mean, besides practices that you might do offline, but get everything through and, take what you can and learn new things. And, that's great for them. So hopefully we can get them in here for an interview.
Yeah, I would once again want to take a moment to ask everyone to give these runners a follow. Also give their mentors a follow. They, like we said, they gave us a good show. I think they really showed us parts of what you can learn, what you can do, and it's been great. So please give them a follow. And also thanks to our crew helping out over here. Artaryl on the restream, Zoglug on our tracker, which has been a bit of a struggle with the stream falling out at one point. So really thanks for tracking this very nicely. And of course, thanks to TJ as well.
Don't
Hello,
forget about yourself. GG's.
GG. How are you guys doing?
GG's.
GG. Khaemere sends his regards. He actually had to run and go pick up a little one from daycare. And I guess McMonkey sends his regards too, from what I understand. He also had to jet.
Yeah, absolutely. He had to go make dinner, which makes sense considering the time.
Definitely.
Hey, 2.5 hours. See, not too bad.
Yeah, I was, this is probably my first competitive seed, really, other than the first two I ran. I've been doing practice stuff over the week. But, generally I'm proud of my showing. It wasn't the fastest, but I think we made logical decisions throughout, and we did our best. And it wasn't too bad in the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually scouted you out, and I looked at some of your times, and yeah, I think you did pretty well. You're already making good progress. Maybe you'll be the next Vex Topher.
Let's see about that. But I'm happy to have this experience. I think my next goal is to just tighten up a lot of the execution requirements and then learn a couple of things that I have yet to learn. So I think that will be helpful in terms of lessening my time. One example of that is I have practiced, but I really don't have a great grasp on Icebreaker yet, and so we chose to go through Ice Palace through the bomb route specifically.
Yeah, that was very nice to see. We were talking about it during the race. Both you and Khaemere obviously showing us what kind of tricks and glitches you may be a bit more familiar with or more comfortable with. Both of you, for instance, skipped trying to do diver down. But then we did see Icebreaker on Khaemere's side, the bomb jump on your side. And what was also very cool to see is that at least you gave us the impression that you were also learning a few tricks on the fly, like being able to bonk off the stairs in Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, absolutely. And then also the dark room in Eastern Palace. I was not able to do that until McMonkey sort of walked me through it during the seed. So that was my first time doing a dark room.
That's great. Congrats. It's nice to learn stuff on the fly. It was great to see and watch here and just see what you were picking up and trying to watch yours and McMonkey's thought process through here, especially in a seed that just gave you everything and opened up.
Yeah, absolutely. So, when we went to Turtle Rock, the first time, we sort of got to that point where we're like, well, we're going to leave everything else. We're going to leave Turtle Rock for last upon re-entering, and it worked out that way pretty well, but, the flute ended up being in the Spike Cave, which, unfortunate to some degree, but it worked out.
Yeah, we talked it over as well. There was no real wrong decision to make in the seat because it was so open. You could do a lot of things, and we understood the routing you took, deciding to head over into a couple of pendant dungeons as well, deciding to leave TR and the rest of the mountain for last. So it was very understandable. It was just unfortunate because you were the first in Dark World. I think at 22 minutes you were both had access to Dark World very early with low HP and I think only a blue meal. And then you came to the part where you already paid Zora 500 rupees. And then the unfortunate thing happened that the digging game ended up actually having something required.
Yeah, absolutely. And we tried to do the arrow game a couple of times, but to be honest, it was the first time I've ever stepped in that since just playing the game vanilla. So that didn't work out that well, but it is something on my list of things to practice now.
Yeah, and I think the rest of it, you had a very good fight on, especially Mothula. talking about those fights. Both you and Khaemere, I think, had one heart left, probably with fairy, but you didn't actually need to expend the fairy and just kill it with, I think it was still a master sword. So that was pretty cool stuff to see.
Yeah, I think I am improving on that end. I think that's definitely been one of my sort of go-to strategies, is to try to improve on certain parts of execution while I'm learning like routing tricks and sort of like different glitch tricks as well. So I think expending effort on all three has been worthwhile for me this week. I'm hoping to do a lot more of that over the next couple of weeks.
Definitely, it'll all come in time, and it shows even from when the way you're moving through and stuff. Once you got comfortable, definitely your gameplay changed. So your time is definitely showing, and I mean that's what this tournament's all about too, learning and having fun at the same time. So looking forward to seeing the rest of your matches on the way through.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then just thank you again to McMonkey, and then also to Khaemere for putting up a good show as well. And I'm looking forward to seeing who I will be paired with next week.
Yeah,
Only
and we
2
would.
days to find out.
Yeah.
Well, luckily I'll be heading down to Santa Cruz this weekend just to hang out with my wife, so I won't be thinking about this for 2 days, but I'll be back on practice mode on Monday.
Yeah, you can get a good reset this weekend. It was a very nice. It was a very nice race, very open, like we said, and it was also very nice to see that you decided to finish out the seed, getting that bit of experience under your belt as well. So thank you for that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was certainly worthwhile for me, only because, McMunkey and I did a practice seed, but he left me a go mode on Tuesday, only because our schedules were a little bit tight that time. So this is the first time we ran a full seed together, and I picked up a couple of new tricks even in the tower. So.
All right. I would like to thank everyone involved today. Thank you to our runners, Confucius and Khaemere, and with their mentors, McMonkey and JohnTheBranch. Once again, thank you to our crew, and thank you to everyone watching this. I hope you had a good time. I know we did. Again, give the podcast a follow. Join us at Discord if you want to chat. And I hope we can see you there. Until next time.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
GG.